Welcome back, but there's going to be swearing involved in this one, guys, so if you don't like swearing I wouldn't stick around. I'm trying to get to the bottom of my clicking noise, as you probably heard in the Typhon video that I called Typhon, aptly named by the way. So I took the drive shaft out. As you can see, the drive shaft's out, and when the drive shaft is out you can manually get to that little input drive shaft there, and you can move it with your finger like that. So the back one seems to be moving nice and free. The front one, however, when I done that, wasn't, so that's why that's out there. Anyways, I'll get to the bench and I'll show you the front diff in a second. But while I'm getting everything undone for the rear diff, such as your suspension and your tie rod here, I've done it, I let the tie rod go, and then I've ended up with this on the floor. So that there hasn't even been Loctited in, and I've been blasting it around, you know what I mean? So Arrma seriously need to get this shit a rethink. In my opinion, sorry, for a 300 odd pound RC car, for it to be getting taken out a few times, and now just these falling off willy-nilly, no Loctite on. When I get to the front diff, I'm going to point out some things there, and I'm not going to hold anything back as far as I'm concerned when it comes to mechanics of their cars and what they think they are as a company. Not off to a good start with this Typhon, I've got to admit, but here we go. I'll try and explain it. So this is the rear diff. As you can see there, it just moves nice and free, and even if I get the input gear and I turn that, it's nice and free. So that was the rear one. If I keep a hold of the actual air differential, it's got a tiny little bit of backlash as well. I'm happy with that. I think everybody else would be expecting the same. I want to try and get it so you guys can see I'm not stopping it in any way. Right, there we go. So, here we go. So it'll run nice and free. And then, yep, there we go. And then it binds up. Right, here we go. So, if I get that lined up nicely, so I can still rotate the diff. There. You can see how it just closes in on this side. So I'll squeeze it past that gap again. And as you can see, there's no contact. You can see the light all the way through that. And then I'll get the light in focus again. And then there you are. You can see my diff case is actually touching. Also with this, sorry, what I should say is it's got no backlash whatsoever. It's got no mesh. It's just jammed hard up against it. You can actually make out the wear pattern. If I hold that there, you can actually see the wear pattern on the back end of the teeth. As it comes around just inside there. So I've got major problems with my Typhon. I'm probably going to end up blowing this diff regardless of how my driving style is or whatever. So that's one of the problems. Now, for anyone who has got the Typhon, I'm understanding, or should I say I am of the understanding that the longer sliders are for the rear, yeah? And you've obviously got slightly shorter ones here, which are meant to be for the front. So as you can see, I'm holding them even at the base, and one slightly longer, slightly shorter. Bit of a whiteout. If you come to the manual, it says on the front one there, they look completely closed, and on the rear, it's showing you both of them are slightly open. So that would say to me that that's the way they're meant to go. This is the front diff, and it came with the two longer ones on. Now, I believe the longer ones are labelled D, because there's a D there, and the shorter ones have got like a number system on them, so it's got two little dots on. The receiving end of these have got one dot, so it would make sense to have a dot with a dot system. And then these would be the lettered system, wouldn't it? So that would be D to A, because there's an A on the front end of the car. Anyone in the comments can clear that one up? That would be a hand. Because I want to get this built. I've actually got a Gen Z battery charged, and I'm not letting the battery go to waste because Arrma and the quality control is absolutely horrendous. Yeah, so I mean, I'd like someone to see this video, and well, from Arrma anyways, I'd like to see someone from Arrma see this video and alleviate my problems with this, because I'm not happy. I've got one diff, like I'm saying, is absolutely spot on. So I'm not bitching completely about your quality control. I'm saying someone on Monday put this one in, and I'm saying someone on Friday who wanted to go out and get pissed put it in on Friday, you see. So you can sit there in your interviews and drink your non-alcoholic beer, you know, and give like your huge 1 hour something, you know, talks and stuff on the internet, right? But this is your V3, so this is the latest version of the 3S range, and it's coming out, if I'm correct. So I want people to clear this up in the comments. I'd love it if D goes to A, and that should be the longer ones on the rear, which on my car came on the front, and then vice versa, the 2 dots go with the 1 dot, which should be where. So anyways, if anyone can clear that up, that would be great. I want to try and get this car back together. I'm going to have to try and take the diff apart, because as you can see as well, this seal, what they've done here, I don't know who the hell's put that together. Look at the state of that. And then it just comes squidging right out the side. They've totally blebbed it. I heard it. Listen. That's disgusting. But anyways, 300 odd pound, guys. By Arrma. Arrma Tough. So I'll clear this mess out of the way. And another thing I want to talk to you about is the slipper clutch in here, and how basically they don't bother with the mesh. They just put it in, put the gear in, slam it up, and then there's basically no mesh whatsoever. Because when I first got this, it was locked solid. But as you can see, I've added just a tiny little bit of mesh. Now what you can see in here is I've actually placed washers behind there. That's I think it was an M3, M4 washer that I had to hand, just something to bed onto this better. When you first take these out as well, the company, when they're putting them together, they've compressed it so hard, I had to pass a 3mm drill bit through that again to open the channel up, because I couldn't get the mesh to move apart, and you couldn't get it to move any closer if you put a smaller pinion on. So that's an important must do there. It's a must do to put those washers on. So yeah, another thing that I did notice, so if I put all this back together, is that absolutely fine, is it? So that's the case completely compressed on. I don't need to put screws in there to prove my point. So that's just sliding up and down. Do you not think that should be a little bit more central and stop from riding on this case here? Which, by the way, there's the bearing again. As you can see here, just on the base, there's a wear pattern there. So that's happening all of the time. There's not too much of a wear pattern on, well, saying that, there is a little bit of a wear pattern on here as well. The bearings, they're taking a chamfer on the inside. So, yeah, but anyways, guys, as people are saying, Arrma Tough, that bearing's exactly the same as well. It's got a nice chamfer. If anyone can leave a comment, sorry, about the sliders and whether or not D goes with A and the 2 dots go with the 1 dot, that would be absolutely much appreciated. I'll give you like a huge thumbs up, not a 3/4 thumbs up. This will be a fine conclusion for some of you. I'm starting to see RTRs is ready to rebuild, because you can't trust these companies to put the damn things right together. So if you guys can leave comments as to whether I'm right or wrong on the sliders, that would be great. However, I'm going to take it apart and set it up how I think it should be set up, with the bigger sliders on the rear and the littler ones on the front, as per the diagram. Sorry about the rant, guys. It's more of a Q&A and a little bit of a letting steam off, I guess. But if you like that one, like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next Typhon video.